Hello, you've reached the developers of the Shattering. My name is Matt.
My name is Marta.
My name's Kasia.
And my name is Arek.
We want to thank you very much for playing the game so far. We hope you enjoyed it. This was the first game we ever made, and we have prepared a small bit of extra content for you. Things that maybe didn't necessarily fit into the main storyline of the game, but fun parts and some interesting visuals that we've put together. So we hope that you enjoy it and take your time. There's no limit. There's no win or fail condition ahead of you. There will be opportunities where you can hear from us, and we'll have some stories to share and some of our experiences as we made the game. And yeah, thank you very much, and we will see you inside.
We hope you enjoy.
You're listening to 96.2 Shattering FM. Thank you for joining us, where today we have four lovely guests with Arek, Kasia, Marta, and Matt, and we're going to learn from the developers of The Shattering on this amazing radio show what they thought that the greatest challenges they faced were during the development of the game. And to lead us away, I'm going to start with Arek. What do you think?
Well, for me, creating the game itself was the greatest challenge. We couldn't know where it will lead us, or could we complete it, or will players like it. But today, here we are talking about it, so I am extremely happy how things turned out.
And what about you, Kasia? What was one of your greatest challenges during the production of The Shattering?
I'd say one of the biggest challenges was how to connect Act 3 with other acts. Because at the very beginning, Act 3 meant to be about something completely different. We had an early draft, the scenes were prepared, and then other acts changed, so we had to rebuild the whole story. I remember we were making big mind maps about it, and for weeks we couldn't figure it out. So yeah, I think that was one of the toughest challenges for the team.
I understand this. That was quite a journey in that act, but I think it's one of our more unique ones that came out in the end. So thank you. And Marta, what from your perspective? Challenges. I mean, you and Adek from the very beginning were working on the game. What did you find one of the most difficult things?
Well, Matt, for me, I have to jump to Act 4 for all those glitch moments that we had to do. I remember we spent really a lot of time figuring out what actually is glitch in the shattering. And after many feedbacks from a lot of people, and also from you telling me that it's not that do something that I never saw before, I remember really struggling to create something I would kind of surprise myself with too, what it is, and so also the player can feel its change and the state of the John mind has changed. So yeah, for me, yeah, all the glitch moments in Act 4 was one of the biggest challenge to do.
Well, I'm glad everyone did do it that way though, because that was one spooky part of the game, and definitely took the whole flow into something like you said, into a new state of John's mind. And I'll ask myself or the developer Matt from the radio host Matt, what was one of the biggest challenges? And I would have to say it would actually be writing the story and writing the dialogue. I don't think on our team we have a natural writer, a story writer, or someone who can quickly grab the discussions and ideas and transform it into words that then we can create some dialogue from and actually guide the story. And a lot of the times I think it ended up to for me to work on. And it was exciting to get the freedom, but then there were a lot of opportunity times where you're sharing the story with the team and you're saying, well, what if we do something like this in Act 3 or in Act 4? And what did people think? And it comes back and people are like, well, I don't know what that's like. And it's hard to even explain it. Just like the corruption moment Martha mentioned, it's like, oh, do something crazy. What should we do? Working throughout the life of the Shattering, having it come together and having that writing come together throughout the entire production was definitely one of the hardest things. So that was it. Thank you very much for tuning into 96.3 Shattering FM, where we discussed some of our greatest challenges from Matt, Marta, Kasha, and Adek. listening to the Shattering Dev Commentary, the B-Sides. Today I'm joined with Timote Dor, who was the musician and the entire magician behind the music of the Shattering and the original score, with composition, with the recording, the performance. Tim was working with us from Paris, from France, and we were very grateful to work with him throughout the whole process. So let's get started. Tim, first question is about the inspirations and how you built the soundtrack and put it together for The Shattering.
Hi, Matt. Thank you for joining me. So, about this question about influences, I think with the team and me, we talked about some old video games, let's say Resident Evil as references, Silent Hill, Alone in the Dark, and all kind of horror games like that, and of course some movies, which are were the beginning of the style. And I try to meld strangeness with horror connected to the scene. So we have a lot of scenes in the Shattering, and we wanna really build something general for it and a mood which will be used through different acts sometimes. And Marta asked me sometimes to use a lot of the piano sound because the piano has this emotion into it, which sometimes we really feel alone and we feel, let's say, really far from our mind. And with the piano, I used also the strings with modern sound, which will combine with the piano the emotional stuff behind. And we wanna also about the influences build something which can and bring the player into individual sensation as the same time he's playing. So we brought sorry some elements to create the atmosphere around. So you have some elements from the nature and stuff like that. And also in the composition, I used the sounds, the rhythm, and the harmony to create the calmness, let's say a warmness, and sometimes some passages which were more intense. So it's pretty like that how we thought about the music influences.
Awesome. I think you managed to take the transitions, this time of calmness or moving to tension, just perfectly. It worked out really, really well. So, Tim, next question. What's some advice that you would want to give someone who's working on a soundtrack for a game?
I think the best point would be to be really open-minded about the demands from the team, about the demand from the artistic direction, and also to find a proper style for the game. And the better the yeah, the better you are, the best is the result after it. But the more you know, the more influences you have, the more music you listen to, the more movies you see, everything like that will build something into everyone, and we all have that capacity to resume those experiences through serials, movies, games, and to focus on a new, let's say, new view for the game you are building. So don't forget to be really interested by the orchestral music to so you would know um, the role of each instrument, the role of the effects you want to use, and you can take all those together to try to melt something and to build something original, which sometimes is not really original, as I can experience in few games. You know, it's more like copy paste kind of music, and it's not to say our music is the best, but it's to say our music fits to the game. And I think, yeah, the more you know, the better you can improve this music. So this is some quality required for an artist and also for a composer.
Okay, great advice. Thank you, Tim, for your time. Thank you for your answers. And thank you for all the amazing work you've done on the Shattering. I really hope we get an opportunity to work together on something new in the future. Beep beep. It's time to wake up. We're here with another developer commentary session with the developers of the Shattering. Joining me is Marta, Kasia, and Arek, and my name is Matt. And we are going to be exploring the question of what is something that we would have loved to add to the Shattering, be it some feature or some technology or anything really, something that we were not unable to do, but we would have liked to see in the final shipping game. To start things off, I'm going to ask Marta. Marta, what is something that you would have added to the Shattering if you just had a magical genie at your disposal?
Well, if I could magically add something in the Shattering, I think that would be different player gestures. Give the player more control options like to crouch, sneak, swim, fly in the air, fall. This also is connected with having more environments in the game that would enable on all of those actions. Sadly, I think we had even few events like this in the game that we had to cut at the end. For example, there was a time in Act 1 where the hotel room was completely underwater and you had to swim in it, or in Act 2 where you could jump from the air balloon that was just catching on fire. Yeah, I think for those player gestures would be amazing to have in a game, so that would be a thing from my side that I would add if I have a chance to add something.
Very cool. I would have loved to see how some of those things would have played out in the game. And Kasia, how about you? What is something that you would have loved to add to the Shattering?
Well, for me, it would be adding more written content and artwork. And I mean, we have two talented people in the team, Marta and Arek. So I would love to see some drawings or paintings in the game coming from their hands. And also, I would add more medical notes from the doctor or nurses, and maybe even some notes from John, like letters to Jane or something like that. So I think such content would add much more love from our side to this game.
Great ideas. Those are really cool ideas. Yeah, nice. And I'm glad that you listed Arek and Marta as the talented artists because I think if I were or you were putting in our artwork, maybe the game would not have been received the same way. Arek, how about you? What is something that you would have loved to add to the Shattering?
If I had one wish, I would like to see more interactions with characters in the game. I think that would lead to more variant-based plot, and I think that would help players to develop even stronger emotions and better immersion to the story. And also that would make the game a bit longer.
very true. I think especially when we had so many times to interact with the doctor, it would have been good to have a real character there to interface with. And for me, the last points that I would just bring up, something I would have liked to have is more shattering, more procedural destruction or shattering of objects, or bringing them back together from their shattered pieces. It's something we had talked about a lot, but I think it would have been really nice to have a lot more control in the environments just during gameplay, so we don't have to pre-bake everything. I think that would have been just giving the whole name, the Shattering, a lot more exposure inside the game itself. And that sums it up. That's those are the things that we would have liked to see in the Shattering had we just had some extra magical powers at our disposal. Uh, Thanks for tuning in, and hope you have a great morning, Sleepyhead. Well, I'm glad you pressed play because we've got some of our favorite memories from making the Shattering to share with you. And to lead us off, we'll have Kasha. Kasha, what was your most favorite memory when you were making the Shattering?
Definitely, it was sculpting a teddy bear with Arek. It was my very first attempt at 3D modeling, and I wasn't even a team member yet, but I really wanted to help, so I just sat down, put my teddy bear near the monitor, and started getting into the program and rebuilding the model that Arek prepared. And I think it turned out pretty good.
I think it turned out more than good. I think for all of us, that teddy bear holds a special spot in the game, so awesome. And Marta, how about you? What were some of your favorite memories from the Shattering?
Well, Matt, for me, one of the best memories from the sharing was when we were all together, the whole team under one roof, because usually we work remote, and that was the magic times for me when we all could find this spirit of making a video game. And even though sometimes we were crunching till very late hours and it was before Gamescom or before some demo we had to show, and there was also some time pressure, we still keep it up like the good spirit and could do it because we were together. So definitely I miss those times, and I always come back to them with a warmth in my heart. So
Yes, they were. It was awesome. It was really a blast to make this game. Arek, you're up next. Your most fond memory from making the Shattering.
Well, there has been a lot of good memories throughout all these years, and it's hard to pick the best ones. Each time we accomplished something that we liked, we celebrated together, and I will always remember positive vibes from the team during the process.
Good. No, I mean it's good to look back on the project with so much positivity because that's something that stays with us forever. And I will give just my little take on things, and it was something I never got to experience before, but it was the times where people from the public got to play the game and we got to see it. I think those were the some of the best times. So I remember specifically there was a Gamescom, and we always introduced the game when somebody sat down to play it. We were at the Deck 13 booth, and this one person came and sat down, and I started to explain the game, and she interrupted me and she said, I don't need to hear about it. I know all about it. I've been following it online. I just want to play the game. And having that experience to just see someone happy and enjoying what we put together was, I'll never forget the emotion. So, really, I think from everybody, very positive memories. And I really hope we get to do it again and make something new.